Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're making 3 ramen noodle mason jars. Now this is super simple. You are literally gonna prep a ramen bowl in a mason jar. So all you have to do is add your hot water when you're ready to eat it, and you have a homemade ramen bowl. So I saw it on TikTok, came home, made it, and then I was like, oh, 100% we have to make this. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna start with is our soup base. So we're gonna make basically like our broth. So what you wanna do is place that all the way at the bottom. It's almost, think of it like when you make a mason jar salad. You always put the dressing at the bottom, then you put like the crunchier veggies, and then you just kind of layer up until whatever you don't want to get soggy has to be at the very top. Now you can use soy sauce. I like to use tamari or even like a coconut aminos because it's gluten-free, and then it won't hurt my tummy. But so we're measuring everything out. And don't worry, I'm gonna leave the recipes in the description below. Now we're gonna do our toasted sesame oil. I love sesame oil. Like, I don't know, like I feel like you can't have like Asian inspired food without sesame oil. Like it just gives so much flavor. Now we have sriracha. This is like a clean sriracha. Spicy. So this is obviously gonna give that touch of spiciness. So if you don't want it super spicy or you want it more, then obviously you can add a little more or just do about half. Now we're gonna do garlic. Okay. We have ginger. You can use fresh, but I don't have any on hand, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use some powdered ginger. It's still gonna be super delicious. And then we are gonna do some chicken bouillon. Last but not least, a squeeze of lime juice. You can also leave the lime for the very end, like once you add your water and you serve it, then you can add like, you know, more lime juice. I'm just doing like a little bit right now. So here I have a little bit of ground, this is fresh ginger and onion. So I'm just gonna do like a little teaspoon just for some extra taste. The first thing that I'm gonna put in is the broccoli because it is a crunchy veggie, so it's not gonna get soggy. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna put in. You can either put in the noodles or the broccoli. I'm just doing broccoli because then you'll be able to see the layering, you know, with the noodle and stuff. Okay, so next I'm gonna add in my noodles. These are shirataki noodles. I just grabbed them on Thrive, and it gives you like that noodle texture, kind of like that noodle fix, like when you're really craving noodles, but without the carbs, without the calories. So now we're just gonna add in the rest of our toppings. So I'm gonna do some carrots, some red bell pepper. Okay, now we're gonna do some mushrooms. And then we are gonna do some chicken. So you can literally use tofu, chicken, beef, shrimp, like even with no meat whatsoever. I just personally love to add protein to all of my meals. So we're going with chicken. This is gonna go towards the top. And to finish it off, we are doing some cilantro. Look at this, guys. This is a little ramen bowl in the making. So just think like meal prep, think making your life easier, like you have them for your kiddos, husband, for yourself. They are already prepped. You can literally grab like 5 mason jars, prep them all for the week. Now I'm doing a little mixture of miso. It's a miso broth with chicken broth. And I feel like it's just gonna add all the nutrients and also flavor. I grabbed those from Thrive. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you my Thrive haul for this month. All right guys, so before we move on to our next recipe, I wanna give Thrive a big thank you for sponsoring this part of the video. Now, Thrive is an online membership market. As you can tell here, I get a lot of my specialty ingredients. We're gonna be using all of our Asian sauces and broth from Thrive. Now, whether you're keto, vegan, paleo, they literally have options for everyone. They have the almond flour, coconut flour, xanthan gum. I'm telling you, super high quality and for a great price. Now, as a Thrive Market member, you'll save on every single order of the highest quality organic and sustainable products. And what's crazy is if you find a lower price
price like anywhere else, they'll actually match it. Plus all your orders over $49 are free. They even have 2 different types of memberships. So one of them is like a month-to-month membership for $12 a month and an annual membership that's $5 a month, but they just bill it at like $59.95. What's great is that with the annual membership, you'll actually make your annual membership back in savings. If you don't, Thrive Market will credit you the difference.
Now, right now they're offering you a 30% discount plus a free gift up to $60. So I will leave a link in the description below. Take advantage of it. I'm gonna go ahead, put everything away, and we'll move on to our next recipe. All right, guys, so now we're moving on to our miso ramen bowl. So the miso paste is obviously essential for this recipe. I just grabbed this one on Thrive as well. So we're gonna start off with, again, our coconut. Well, this is actually tamari, so it's just gluten-free soy sauce. But you can use soy sauce, you can use coconut aminos, and they have all of that on Thrive as well. I'm just gonna do our, okay, so we have tamari. Now we have our miso paste. So if you like miso soup, like when you go eat sushi, like this is obviously gonna be a much more flavorful soup because we're adding, you know, all the ingredients to make our base. This is what it's gonna flavor our ramen. So we have our garlic, so a little minced garlic action. You can use powder if you don't have minced garlic or fresh garlic, you can use powder. But guys, you know that nothing really compares to some fresh garlic. So if you have fresh, use fresh. If not, then whatever you have on hand is of course going to work. And then we have our chicken bouillon. Boom. And we have some lime juice. All right, so this broth is very simple. Give it a good little mix. Now remember, you actually don't have to mix it because when you put in the hot water, you're gonna give everything a good shake. And so of course everything's gonna become, you know, just like well incorporated, but I just wanna mix it. That is amazing. Now, what we're gonna start off with is, remember, crunchy veggies. So we have some zucchini. That's gonna be the first thing we add at the bottom. You can even add the noodles at the bottom if you want. I'm just adding the zucchini because I like you to be able to see the noodles as a layer. And next we have our shirataki noodles. Now I'm using shirataki noodles for all of them because I wanna keep it super low carb. These are obviously super low in fat as well. With like a low carb diet, some people feel like they have to have like a lot of fats, and that's definitely not the case. As you can see here, this is not only low fat, low carbs, but it's also low in calories. When, you know, sometimes when you want something like nice and filling or you want something nice and light, this is kind of like, it checks off all boxes. It's filling, but it still like doesn't give you that heavy sensation like if you were having like a fettuccine pasta. And then it's gonna be just like really flavorful, have a lot of veggies. So it's kind of like, guys, it's just one of those, it's just a vibe. You just have to try it. Sometimes once in a while, I'll go and like go to ramen spots. And so I know exactly what I was looking for when it comes to like flavors and textures, and like these three are definitely gonna cross off all those boxes. So crunchy at the bottom. Now let's do carrots. And then we have mushrooms. So our shiitake mushrooms. Guys, this is just such a great meal. It's just such a great meal prep idea, I'm telling you. Okay, so next we're gonna do our spinach. Press that down. Because you know spinach, once it cooks down to almost nothing. So you wanna add a good amount of spinach. Okay, we're gonna add in our chicken. And of course, this would be perfect if you have shrimp, if you have tofu, because of course miso soup is always served with tofu. So that would be a great addition. I just have the chicken that I'm using for like all three to make my life easier. But again, literally any protein is gonna taste delicious with this. And now we're gonna finish it off with a little cilantro and green onions. And our green onions to top it all off. So here you go. This is our miso ramen mason jar. And now we're gonna move on to our last recipe. All right guys, so for our next mason jar ramen bowl, I wanted to go with more of like a Korean inspired spicy broth. So that's what we're gonna go with. Again, all of them are starting off with soy sauce or tamari or even coconut aminos. Okay, so this one here is what is going to give it like, it's basically a fermented chili paste concentrate. It's gonna give it that like, you know, it's gonna give it that depth of flavor. Look at how thick that is. Ooh, yes, queen. This right here, not only is it gonna give the broth body, it's gonna give it so much flavor. So, oops, I was trying to be, I hate that. You know, sometimes you try to be really careful and clean and then you make a bigger mess than if you would have just done it all like whatever. That's me like 24/7, all the time. Let's go ahead and add in our toasted sesame oil. That is going to be a little teaspoony. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now we're gonna do garlic. So this one here is gonna remind you, if you love Korean barbecue, like this one here is gonna be right up your alley. We have our chicken bouillon, little squeeze of fresh lime juice. So this one here is Korean chili flakes, so it's also gonna give it not only like a little spice, but it's also gonna add in flavor. So this is gochugaru Korean chili flakes. I ordered all of these ingredients for the mason jar meal prep, but I also want to make those cucumbers, you know, the ones that you get at the Korean barbecue restaurant. Whenever I order things like this, like I always make sure I have like a few recipes to make, because even though like obviously this is a great recipe for meal prep, but it's always cool to be able to make other recipes with the same ingredients, you know? It's kind of like you get more for your money. Okay. I almost forgot. So this was over here with my toppings, but this is just minced ginger and onion. So I'm just gonna do a little bit here. And that, once the boiling hot water comes in and all the flavors just kind of like combine, it's just gonna add to the flavor, that's all. So we have broccoli. We have our shirataki noodles. And that water, they've been washed, so that's why they're a little wet, but you can of course dry them. I just wash them really well. So one thing about shirataki noodles, a lot of people, you'll hear people be like, ew, like I don't like shirataki noodles. Guys, they are usually preserved like in a liquid. So the only thing you have to do with shirataki noodles so that you don't get like a funky smell is wash them. So you can wash them in boiling hot water. You can just rinse them really, really well. Like keep rinsing them until you can lift them up and they don't smell like anything. But the texture's on point and they're literally flavorless. Like in this case, it's gonna take on the flavor of the sauce. You're not gonna be able to taste the noodle. It's just gonna be like the texture. And then we're gonna add in our red bell peppers. We have our spinach for healthy girl vibes. Now, I told you guys that I was using my chicken for all three because, you know, I already had the rotisserie chicken that was already pre-shredded, but I did pick up some tofu and I was just kind of experimenting. I threw it in the air fryer and guys, it came out crunchy. So we're gonna actually toss in some tofu in this one, but if all you have is chicken or shrimp or whatever, you can literally use whatever you have on hand, okay? And now we're gonna add in some egg. So I'm just gonna toss in 2 eggs, or like 1 egg, 2 pieces, and then finish it off with our cilantro. You gotta have that cilantro. I hope those of you watching this, I hope that you guys like cilantro, because I've heard that cilantro tastes like soap to some people. Like I don't know. Like let me know if you guys are one of those people. Like did that happen? When did you discover this? Like for me, if my Mexican food doesn't have cilantro, like I can't eat it comfortably. So, you know, let me know if you guys, what do you use in substitution of it? But these right here have cilantro. If you don't like it, then of course just omit it altogether and it's gonna taste delicious because there's so many other flavors in there. But here we go. This is our Korean, this is like a spicy Korean ramen bowl. So the lineup is miso, Korean, and chicken ramen broth. All right guys, so now the only thing left is to pour in your either boiling hot water, or in my case, I'm using the broth. And remember, I'm only using broth because I wanna add in a little bit more protein, collagen. You guys know, collagen is amazing for your hair, skin, nails, and then protein, you just can't go wrong with that. You always, for me, if I don't consciously think of how much protein I'm adding into like my food, I never eat enough. I love salads. I love, like, my thing is I like a lot more veggies and like a smaller amount of protein. The one really calling my name from the time I made the sauce was the miso. So we're gonna go ahead and do the miso, and these I'm just gonna leave them for meal prep for the week. This broth here, I mixed it. It is miso broth with a little bit of chicken broth. So this is gonna give us our ramen bowl. How adorable is this little guy? I just got it off Amazon. I'll leave it linked for you guys. For those of you that wanna have a cute little clear pot. I honestly thought it was like a big one to make stew, but we got a little miniature version, a little baby version. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and order the big one to have like the little set. But look at it, it worked out perfect because for this, it works. Do you guys see that? Like, does that just not look like so much flavor happening? So now we're gonna go in for the taste test. I just wanna do a little bit of broth because that's what's important. You know, that's what's gonna flavor your entire ramen bowl. Guys, yes. Once you put in your hot water, you can literally pour it into your ramen bowl or into any bowl, and then, you know, top it off with like an egg or whatever you want, but at least you have like a homemade broth and a homemade soup in like whatever, however long it takes you to boil water. So that's the beauty of these little guys. I'm telling you, I feel like a child sometimes when I'm eating noodles. Guys, shirataki noodles are fire. And the fact that they have like almost no calories or carbs. So bomb. I cannot wait to try the other two. Of course, those are gonna be left for just sometime during the week. Just pull them out, add my hot water, and I have a homemade ramen bowl that is obviously super low in calories, low in fat, and full of flavor. But don't worry, the recipe is in the description below. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more easy recipes just like this. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.